So the church itself, I believe they got a stake going on 2 years ago this March. So we're at the 2 year anniversary of that. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wards, I think. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 branches in Albania alone. That's not counting Kosovo. And I've heard like some different things about what's going on in Kosovo right now. I'm not really for sure. I think people, when they get that kind of mentality, like when they hear like Eastern Europe, they might think like, oh, people aren't going to listen to you as much because they're so like then their roots or something like that, or they're not willing to listen. But I think the thing that we found in Albania is that the Albanian people themselves are really, really humble. From different circumstances where they may be, and we always were able to find people willing to listen, and there was a lot of missionaries who had a lot of success over there. And so, and I think like as far as like the religious background of a lot of people, the overall majority is Muslim. Well, they'll tell you they're Muslim. I'd say maybe like a small percentage of that is actually practicing Muslim. And that came for like, it was like they were under like Turkish rule for like 500 years, and with that came like the Ottoman Empire, and they were under a lot of Muslim control. And then it was like they got free, and then they had their dictator Enver Hoxha come in, and he declared the national religion as atheism, and communism came in. And so you ran into a lot of people. If you ran into like a lot of the older generation, you'd always ask a lot of people like, "Are you a believer? Like, what do you believe?" and all that stuff. And some people will say like, "I'm Muslim." Some people will say I'm Orthodox. Some people will say I'm Catholic. You get like a person who would say, "Oh, I'm atheist," and then you have some people who be like, "Oh, I'm a communist." So the older generation still has that kind of mentality and stuff. But I would say it was around, I think it was like 1992 is when they opened up Albania again to churches, and that's when the church actually went back in. And yeah, and I think it's just because with a whole bunch of churches coming in and everything, a lot more people were kind of like, oh, and if you ask any Albanian, they'll tell you the history of Albania, like from Turkish rule to how their hero Skanderbeu took them down, and then to Enver Hoxha. So if you ever want to know the history of Albania, just ask an Albanian, they'll be glad to tell you the whole thing. But I think with all that kind of commotion with religious stuff and everything, for some people it keeps them a little open-minded. Some people are kind of closed-minded to a lot of things. But in the end, people they're really nice, really respectful people, and they're always willing to listen to you. I would say if I can go back, I would try to. I felt like sometimes I wasn't focusing enough on the people, like the actual person in front of me, and that I never, like I tried, there's a lot of times where I tried to see where they're coming from, but sometimes I'd just be like, why aren't they accepting what I'm saying? Why da-da-da-da? And I would think more like me instead of like thinking like from their perspective. And so if I can go back, I'd probably try to see like things more through their eyes. And as far as like temples go, we're actually getting really excited because the Rome, Italy temple is going to be open right now. Well, not right now, it's going to be open sometime. They've been saying different dates for a while. I know they've been having some issues, but because right now they all go to the Frankfurt, Germany temple, and that's a 600 euro trip. And if you're coming from like a poor country like Albania, that's really tough on a lot of people. So that's going to be really, really exciting because they go from this plane ride to a simple boat ride across the Adriatic Sea to be able to go. And I remember I was talking with the stake president in Albania one time, and he was talking about how he's already planning like trips for the youth to go do baptisms in the temple. And I think that itself will help like build what the member, like, because you have a lot of really good members, but I think with the youth you're going to have a lot of growth. I think them having like their eyes set on the temple, not only eyes set on temple, but being able to go to temple at least once and then coming back, they have like that goal in mind, and I think that will really help the overall church growth in that area. But the church itself, I mean, it's small, obviously. It's only been there for 24 years now, and but from what I'm hearing, I get a lot of emails from the missionaries over there, and they're starting to open up new areas, and it's growing. So I served from 2012, 2014, January. I actually got back December 30th, 2013. It was a little deal, but so I served in Vlor, then I went to Elbasan, then I went to Tirana for a little bit, Then I went to Fier, Lushnja, and then I finished my mission off back in Elbasan.